It's been a very long day, and I think I've had my fill of idiots in armored suits telling me what to do.
When fans got the news that Marvel would be bringing the God of Mischief once again to our screens, everyone was excited at all the possibilities and the direction of this storyline. Well, it's finally here, and you should have your popcorn ready as we explore this new storyline. However, before getting down to enjoy the episodes of Loki, there are some facts you should know. Sure, Tom Hiddleston is returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Loki, and this is in partnership with Disney+, which has had a massive streaming success so far. What should you know before watching Marvel's Loki? Let's tell you all about it. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Without saying so much, let's get right into the video. The story so far. It's no secret that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has hundreds of interconnecting plots, and Loki won't be any different. So for those who haven't been following the story so much from the beginning, here is a quick recap up until the point that we would expect the new Loki series to start from. Well, long ago, the Asgardians lived on the planet of Asgard as some extraordinarily strong beings who could travel to other planets whenever they wanted with a teleportation device known as Bifrost. For years, Odin, the king of Asgard, used it to conquer other planets that he made into realms. Then, he got a very powerful hammer, Mjolnir, forged by dwarves and handed to his daughter Hela. However, she was so bloodthirsty that Odin had to reconsider his love for war as well. Eventually, he decided to make peace with the other realms, which didn't go down so well with Hela, who slaughtered the Asgardian warriors. Odin was able to imprison her, and then he led his world into a new era of peace. But that was until frost giants came knocking more than 1,000 years later. They wanted to freeze the earth with the Cask of Winters, but Odin and his army were able to stop them. This started off a war between both kingdoms that refused to see eye to eye. But there was a big twist. The king of the frost giants, Loki, had a son who was very small. He was so ashamed of him that he left the infant on a rock to die. This was where Odin found the little boy and, in the spirit of peace, felt it would be a good idea to raise him as a prince of Asgard, which would eventually make the two kingdoms become friends. That little boy was Loki, who never knew that he was only a shrimpy frost giant and not Odin's son or Thor's younger brother. While Thor is the god of thunder, Loki becomes the king of mischief. On the day that Thor was to be crowned as the new king of Asgard, some frost giants were able to sneak into Asgard to steal the Cask of Winters. Of course, this ruins his big day, and being so upset about this, he wants to take revenge. Odin didn't want any of that since he still wants to maintain peace with the frost giants, but Loki was able to get into Thor's head. They both went off to the land of the frost giants to burn it down, and Loki is shocked to discover that he is immune to their touch. At that moment, Odin arrives just in time to put a stop to everything, including all-out war. Angry that his sons could behave in that way, Odin took away Thor's powers and hammer and cursed it only to be held by anyone that was worthy. Meanwhile, Loki discovered his true heritage while Odin slipped into the Odin sleep, which is a deep coma that lets him live for a long time. And yes, Loki was the one that let the frost giants into Asgard to ruin his brother's day. As he becomes king of Asgard, he lies to Thor that his father had died, and the god of thunder spends a lot of time on Earth being humble until he is finally worthy of holding the hammer again. Finally, Thor discovered that his father wasn't really dead, and Loki sent some frost giants into the palace to kill Odin, but the real plan was to kill his birth father, who abandoned him as a child. Thor returns just in time to fight Loki and destroy the Bifrost, which he wanted to use to destroy the planet. Then Loki decided to fake his death, and while everyone thought he had died, he came across Thanos, who was trying to gather the Infinity Stones. Thanos also gave Loki a mind control scepter so he can help him get the Tesseract. While Loki is doing this, he gets captured and tries to use his mind control weapon to make the superheroes fight. Of course, this backfired, and the heroes instead teamed up to stop him. Here's the point that will signal the beginning of the new Loki series. After the defeat of Loki, it was time to take both the prisoner and the recovered Tesseract back to Asgard. But Ant-Man came from the future to try to steal the Tesseract so he could save his universe that had already been defeated by Thanos. In all the confusion, Loki was able to escape with the Tesseract. At first, the Avengers went through time to take the Infinity Stones, but this created alternate timelines that had to be fixed by Captain America America going back to return the stones. But Loki still had the Tesseract, and he had also created several alternate timelines. This was a man outside time who was ready to wreak havoc on the multiverse, and this is where we begin the story of Marvel's Loki. Who will be in Marvel's Loki? What faces can we expect to see in this new series? Well, a series on Loki would never be the same if it wasn't Tom Hiddleston playing the role of the God of Mischief, and we're happy that this charming actor will be reprising this role in the new series. There are also several other stellar names making up the cast, and a favorite is comedy star Owen Wilson. This Marvel legend will be playing the role of a manager in the Time Variance Authority, Mobius M. Mobius. As a bureaucrat in this organization, Mobius's role is strictly to take care of time, so he had to make sure that no one disrupts the proper flow of time, even if you are an Asgardian legend or extremely powerful superhero. Now that the trickster god has to move through several times to fix the timelines he created when he stole the Tesseract, we'll be seeing him working alongside Loki. Surprisingly, Owen and Tom have acted together in another time travel movie, Midnight in Paris, where Owen is a modern-day tourist that stumbled into Paris in the 1920s. On this interesting journey through time, he comes into contact with Tom playing the role of Scott Fitzgerald. Let's check out other cool actors on the Loki cast list. There's also another powerful member of the Time Variance Authority, Judge Renslayer, who will be played by Gugu Mbatha-Raw. The trailer is enough to let us know that she's a force to be reckoned with in the series. Interestingly, we may get to see Ravonna Renslayer in the upcoming Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, because she's actually from the 40th century and has a relationship with another character in the movie, Kang the Conqueror. We'll also get to see Erica Coleman as Florence Schaffner. This name may sound familiar if you remember the story of the infamous D.B. Cooper hijacking, where the then 23-year-old Florence was a real-life flight attendant. Two heavily armored TVA agents played by Sasha Lane and Wunmi Musako will also be giving Loki a hard time, especially as we saw Wunmi escort the trickster god through a portal in one of the trailers. Which other face can we expect to see grace our screens with their acting prowess? We might get to see Sophia DiMartino play the role of Enchantress, an evil Asgardian sorceress, or even a female version of Loki. Either way, this actress did an exceptional job on Into the Badlands and Yesterday. For now, her role is still quite mysterious, but we don't have to wait that long to finally see what role Sophia will play in this Disney Plus series. Finally, there's Richard Grant, whose role in this series is still being kept a secret. We didn't get a glimpse of him in any of the sneak peeks or trailers of Loki so far, but he's definitely a part of the show. If we were to take a guess, we think this star of Can You Ever Forgive Me, Gosford Park, and With Nail and I may feature as an older version of Loki. Possible release date. It's been as long as 2 years since we woke up to the news that Loki would have his very own series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and fans have been eagerly anticipating the official release date. It looks like we finally have a date, and that much anticipated debut episode will be released on June 11th. Disney Plus has also had the tradition of launching its new series on a Friday, but we're seeing a different debut date this year, and that's June 9th. It's the first time the streaming service would make a Wednesday debut. Looks like Wednesdays are the new Fridays after all. The reaction to this series is already positive and would most likely follow the path of other successful Marvel movies. We know that Season 1 is just about to hit our screens, but what's the possibility that we would have a Season 2 of Loki? Well, the producer, Michael Waldron, has all but confirmed that there would be a return for Season 2 of this Disney series. However, it is still quite early to say for sure. We just have to wait and watch the first 6 episodes to get a better understanding of the direction of the show and the likelihood of there being more fans worldwide. And there you have it. Here's all you need to know before watching Marvel's Loki. Do you think this new show has the potential to become a major hit for the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Let me know in the comments. And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching.